There it is. Okay. Okay. So, welcome to Houston with a Problem, where we have lots and lots and lots of problems. So if you're watching earlier today, Monkey Butt, this dumbass right here, chased the cat, Chalupa Batman, under the desk, and the cat jumped up on top of the battery backup system, standing on the power button, and cycled the power for the entire computer. And I think my last words before the computer turned off was, if you turn off the computer again, I'm going to be so mad. And then, blink, blackness. Showings. So, it took about a half an hour to reboot the computer because it had all sorts of Windows updates I wanted to do, and it just was, I had to leave. So, here we are making up for the lost artifact of the second half of Houston We Have a Problem, where we have current problems, where whenever my computer reboots, it turns off my microphone. So then the first couple minutes of the show is just silence of me flapping my lips, and then I have to look over and see everybody yelling at me that there's no sound. And I could murder that little cat right now. But instead I'll scratch his butt when he comes by. All right. It's dark. So one of these. Okay, I'm going to turn that off because we have enough problems tonight. Turn that off. Oh, so turn that one off. Oh, son of a bitch. All right, turn that one off. Oh, still turn that one off. Just. Oh my gosh. I need a nap. Oh. Can I do anything right, Monkey? Is it in the realm of possibility? Can it happen? Will we have that opportunity? I don't know. All right. Okay, so now we got that out of the way. Off. They're all off. Everything's off. Since I set this up like 5 hours ago, there's probably 5 hours worth of chats. Actually, there's too bad. Okay, we got some at 5 o'clock, some at 7 o'clock. Not too shabby. People have been hanging out in the chat room for the last 4 hours. Anna Rulnick, Houston, I'm traveling home and haven't been watching the market or Reddit, etc. What's up with MMTLP lawsuit? And did anything happen with Sears holding today? I thought today was date for something. So, I just looked it up. Apparently, there's a lawsuit against Eddie Lampert and his hedge fund for self-dealing during liquidation process. And so there was a Chancery Court trial that started on Tuesday last week, 4 day long. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And now I think we're waiting for a ruling. There originally was supposed to be some sort of announcement from the liquidators today. And I think that trial action for the Chancery Court is what maybe postpone that, because I don't see any announcements from the liquidators at all. Yeah, so this is from Bloomberg Law last week. Gotta go to Chrome. That's where we're going. Hey, oh yeah. My Excel book disappeared, so now I have to make it all over again. Yeah. So, we'll have to wait until not that one. This one. There we go. Until I can get all the names in there again. I was kind of panicking and trying to get it working. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. So, yeah, Chancery Court. This is from Bloomberg last Monday. And just a little blurb that they're back getting sued all over again in Chancery Court. So who knows what's happening with anything ever. We're just going to be in just a cycle of waiting. And then maybe our great-great-grandchildren will get cut a check at some point. I don't know. But I would really like for it to be me at some point. That would be great. That'd be great, guys. If it could just be me having the check at some point. Thank you. Okay. And Nick, I'm also saying to a guy that keeps clearing his throat, growling mouth noises are my biggest pet peeve. What's yours? My sister Janelle cracks her knuckles constantly, and I hate that sound. It just like really makes my skin, my hair stand on end, and my skin crawl. I don't like that sound. I don't really pop my knuckles. I if neck might pop every once in a while, finger might pop on accident, but she's always like pop, 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 pop all the time, and it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. What else, Monkey? What else would drive me up the wall? Yeah, that's probably the big one. I would just want to just shove her into a suitcase whenever she makes that popping knuckle sound. It is, and it's like she pops her knuckles like every 5 minutes, and just yeah, it's like a nervous tick for her or something. Okay. Keith Dixon, Fear of Pain, Kiddo. Fear of Pain. Kiddo and I were watching a movie the other night, and screen something goes blank with a drive not found error. I look over and see our cat happily chewing away on the USB drive cord. Those little assholes. I love seeing, every once in a while someone will do a post or an article about cats being little fuckers throughout history, and their little paw prints and people's manuscripts and from 1200 AD, or their paw prints in some clay tablet that has cuneiforms on it or whatever. That's just they're our little guys, and they're little pains in the asses, and that's what they do. Chris Crozier, Houston, happy birthday. Let's say you come into a whole lot of money for some unknown reason and want to take some friends out for a week of mineral collecting. Where would you take them? I do take friends out for a week mineral collecting. I've taken friends usually up to my gold claim in the North Cascades, the easiest one to go in August. The water's nice and warm. The air's 95 degrees. It's a great time to sit in a river and look for gold. When we filmed the pilot for my show, we went to Delta, Utah, and it was perfect weather. September, it was 70. It rained a couple of days, a little monsoony. But we went and we looked for Bixbite and champagne topaz. Bixbite's a red emerald, one of the rarest gemstones on Earth. Champagne topaz. What else we get? We got sunstones from Sunstone Knoll, which is really easy doing. That was all in Utah. I've never really... I've taken friends out to diamond claims. We've done sapphires, we've done rubies, opals. We've done some exploring, trying to find iolites in the Laramie Mountains, and we weren't very successful because GPS broke, and then we went the wrong direction on the wrong valley, and then that was a long walk. But I ate so many wild raspberries, and then spent the whole next day in the outhouse at the campground. So, if you eat 10,000 raspberries, that's what happens to you, by the way. There's lots of places to go. There's cool places that are a little more curated. You can go, if you're in San Diego, you can go for tourmaline in San Diego. There's pay-to-play tourmaline mines where you can go dig tourmaline. There's lots of pay-to-play mines in places. New York, you can go look for Herkimer diamonds, which are these really big, cool quartz crystals that look almost fake. Type of stuff that they dug up in Gulliver's Travels, these just giant gems. You can go to Crater Diamonds if you want, Arkansas, but the odds of finding something there is bupkis. It's better to go to Colorado or Wyoming or Montana and go dig for diamonds. You're way more likely to find some. You can go to Oregon and do sunstones in Oregon. Oregon sunstones are really valuable. They've got these really cool copper flake inclusions inside of them. Excuse me, I just had a whole bunch of burritos right before this, and I'm going to be a burpy guy today. What else can you do, Monkey? What else can you do? You can do, if you're in Nevada, you can do black opals in Virgin Valley. I've got a claim there as well. But there's pay-to-play claims. The Rainbow Mine and Peacock Mine, Royal Peacock Mine, are two mines that you can do pay-to-play. It's you pay $50 and you go dig for these cool opal fossils. There's not really other places in Virgin Valley where you can dig that aren't claimed out. I got the last claim, I think most recent claim there, and that was about 10 years ago. I noticed that somebody forgot to file August 31st every year, you have to refile your mineral claim by August 31st every year. If you don't file by August 31st, September 1st, it goes up for grabs. And I looked online September 1st, and no one had renewed, and I hopped in the truck, drove 12 hours with my mom. I was taking care of my mom's little dog because she was going to visit family. She had this little Shih Tzu. I'm like, buddy, get in the truck. We're going on a 12-hour drive. So we raced down to Nevada. I went out, staked the claim, wrote down the coordinates, got in the truck, raced a few more hours to the desert, got to Reno, Carson City, to the BLM office, filed my claim, paid my fee, and I got my claim there. So, and then we did a 20-hour drive home. That little dog was like, what the hell is going on? Although we did discover that little dog wants to murder every donkey he sees, because there's feral donkeys all over that desert. And whenever he saw one, he's like, I'm going to fuck that donkey up. And I had to explain to him that he's 10 pounds and he could be tossed like a baseball. And that donkey is 1,000 pounds and will step on him gladly. But he didn't want to believe it. He had little dog syndrome. Okay. But yeah, there's a few places you can go. Get wherever state you're in, get one of the rock hounding guides, falcon guides, or the gem trail guides. Sorry, there's all sorts of stuff loaded up on my... Let go. Get, either a rock hounding guide for your particular state. This one's for California. Here's gem trails for Arizona. I have them for pretty much almost one copy of each for every state in the West. But wherever you are, go get them. The Falcon guides are great. The roadside geology books are really good too. They'll give you actually some explanations as to like how things formed in the road cuts along the way. So it's always stuff that you can see from like the roadside in the geology that's there. So this is the roadside geology of Washington. Not as many pretty pictures as the gem books, but like they're informative. They're showing you like ghost towns, old kilns for processing ore and whatnot. That and ghost town books. Ghost town books also tell you where lots of stuff are. Okay. Sincere 206. I genuinely need reaffirmation that we aren't all collectively experiencing insanity or being gaslit into insanity, watching these financial markets stay afloat and seeing our favorite stocks manipulated. I mean, we're all a little bit insane, right? Normal people are like, you know what? Forget that crap. I'm going to watch TV. And then there's us who are like, how dare they? And we want to like rouse rabbles and get our pitchforks and torches. But here's the thing. If anything's taught us anything, if history's taught us anything, I should say, it is whenever there's a crazy top, there's an even crazier bottom. So it's going, woohoo, yeah, woo, nothing can go wrong, yay. And then everything goes wrong. Because that's just the way it is. There's so much fraud and so many scams, it catches up to them in the end. And the catching up is what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the markets to just shit the bed, catch up, get these guys, and, re-level the playing field all over again. There's a lot of broskies who were at Lehman and Bear Stearns who never worked in the financial industry again because they were toxic. I went, ooh, yeah, we're not gonna enjoy your last bonus because you're not gonna work here anymore. So go get your cabin in Wyoming, sit in Jackson Hole, drink your single malt scotch, and be done with it. Citizen 54, I like being here. Look forward to it. There we go. Jason Blackwell. Hey, Houston, I have to admit that I'm afraid of negative numbers, and I'll stop at nothing to avoid them. My God, man. Dear Lord, man. There are children present. Peachy Sunday. Happy birthday, Houston. If we visit Bainbridge Island to have lunch with you and Monkey Butt, which place would you choose? Ooh. Lunch on Bainbridge. I mean, it depends on what day of the week. The place I go to the most out of all the restaurants is I get teriyaki. I love teriyaki town. I get the chicken katsu. I love the chicken katsu. It's a delicious Japanese barbecue sauce they put on it. It's just so good. Monkey Butt sits there and watches me eat while drooling the entire time. Probably go there like once a week. Who else? Basa is really good. They're sort of like a Vietnamese Northwest fusion. They got really delicious like pork belly banh mi. Their bone broth soup is incredible. Holy smokes. I could drink that stuff like soda pop. Who else is really tasty? Well, Bruschetto, my friend's restaurant. Probably some of the best pizza in America. Marché is really good. They're very pricey though. They're French cuisine. The former head chef of Canalus, one of the highest rated restaurants like on earth, opened up a restaurant in Bainbridge. Although it does sounds like he's looking to retire now. So that they're currently closed because they're on vacation to Hawaii for 2 weeks. So they closed up shop. More power to them, man. Like, go enjoy your life. Let your staff have some days off and go. Who else is really tasty, Monkey? The new poke place is heard really good, but I have not been there yet. I haven't been to get poke. The Thai place, Sawadi is pretty good. Except they're not near the ferry. It's a drive. It's also a drive to get to Via Rosa, which is a Italian pasta place, which is awesome. Pino Sardello is the chef there. He is a very loud Italian and likes to scream and yell and mamma mia, and it's like an open kitchen, so he's like screaming and yelling, oh, mamma mia, and everyone's like, is this normal? Is this comfortable? But then you eat the lasagna, and you're like, okay, I'll put up with that. My favorite place closed, which was Shima Sushi. They closed. They were so good. So the wife, the chef, their owners, the wife, her mom was like on her deathbed, and like, we're gonna close the restaurant, move back to Japan, and go take care of her mom during her last like 6 months of life. And on the flight over the Pacific, the mom died, and they landed, and they're like, oh shit. And so what do we do now? We sold the restaurant, we sold all the stuff, we sold our house, and so they packed everything. They still had everything packed, so they moved to Maui, opened up a sushi place there called Garden Sushi, which is really good. It's so good. I miss Shima so much. Asa, come back to Bainbridge. So if you're in Maui, go there. There's good places. There's good places. Amelia Wynn Winery's got some delicious sandwiches and hors d'oeuvres. Agate Cafe is pretty good. Not as good as it used to be, the old owners, but pretty good nonetheless. There's good places. Peachy Sunday. All right, just in my head. UCFI Repubs pitched the ultimate cancel act, which would cancel the FI. Florida, not FL, FI. Florida Republicans pitched the ultimate cancel act, which would cancel the Florida Dem Party for advocating for slavery 150 years ago. Shake my head. This is one of those things that I always just find so silly, is that the platforms changed, man. They flipped. Strom Thurmond ran for president in the 1930s as Democrat, Southern Democrat. And then after Harry Truman integrated the military, and after Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act, all of a sudden Democrats were like, we're done with the Democratic Party. And they left. Well, not all of them. Like 90% of them left and became Republicans. Newt Gingrich was a Republican until the Civil Rights Act, and he switched. It was Democrat Civil Rights Act, he became a Republican. Trent Lott, same thing. Tom DeLay, same thing. Jesse Helms, same thing. Strom Thurmond. David Duke. Lots of these folks, when the Civil Rights Act were switched, were so mad at Johnson that they were like, we can't be a part of this anymore. And they left. So that's how you got the modern Republican movement in the South today. It's just a silly, like, go read a history book, dude. It's not hard to figure out. Kevin Cruz, history professor at Princeton, has a whole book about it, detailing every single state legislator senator, governor, political activist, all the guys who switched parties after that whole thing. Yeah, but the Florida Republicans just are screwing themselves over in regards to Disney. So numbers came out today that Disney World itself is responsible for $75 billion of the Central Florida economy, and that they employ over 500,000 people. And Ron DeSantis is trying to screw over Disney because he doesn't like a black girl playing The Little Mermaid. That's basically what it comes down to. So, I mean, talk about shooting yourself in the foot. If I were Disney World, I'd just be like, you know what? We're just going to close this. We don't need this crap anymore. Who cares about the money? Let's leave and just see what happens to Central Florida. Orlando would disappear overnight. Meow meow. If you were a hedgie, which issue scares you more? MMTLP or GME? I think it comes down to timing. Like, which one will have something happen, like, sooner? GMEs really seem to be, like, kind of hunkered in. And I don't know if they're, like, coiling for something bigger or if they got any other plays going on or something. But I think they are licking their wounds a little bit because the GME marketplace hasn't quite panned out the way they wanted because the whole NFT thing, well, died. And they have not begun the meat of the NFT marketplace, which is in-game DLC content. So being able to trade that stuff around back and forth, I think will make that market more viable for the long term. But at the moment, they don't have that capability yet. They're working on it, but it hasn't come yet. But if the judge comes out with a ruling tomorrow, it's like, yeah, FINRA can be sued. If I were a hedge fund, I'd piss myself. I would be like, oh no. So that whichever one happens to pop sooner. I mean, if it's true that Carl Icahn and Ryan Cohen have got something going on with Bed Bath & Beyond, that's another dark horse that could come out of nowhere, which is why I was like, I'll throw $500 at a whole bunch of options and see what happens. Who knows? Either it'll make my year or it will be $500 that I won't get back. One or the other. Chalupa Batman will go to any lengths to stop the monkey butt cam. He does like to just nudge this thing and toss it over to me, and I got to put it back. And he's like, no, I'm going to rub my head on it some more. And then I got the monkey butt all square. She's just a little dog. She's just a little dog. That's all she is. Okay. Keith, knee case. SpaceX launch live in about 40 minutes from now. So it happened already. I missed it. What's amazing is so the Starlink, the Starlink 2 satellites went out, and they're huge. They're like 2,000 pounds each. So when they were talking about launching this, 2017, 2018, when I was doing my space studies grad program, the entire idea, and where the hell where all my things go? I've lost. There it is. So the entire idea was you're going to have microsatellites. These little guys like this, they might have some big antenna on them and solar panels, but for the most part it'd be like grapefruit size, maybe basketball size, and you just release like hundreds of them at a time, and they float out there everywhere. Hi buddy. Oh, you think this is for you? This isn't for you. This is for me. And they float out there and they'd be everywhere, and then when they burn up in the atmosphere, that's it, they're gone. Instead, they're like 1,000 pounds each, which is a lot different and a lot more expensive than the original plan. So I don't know how SpaceX is going to afford to launch like 40,000 of those. 40,000 little baseballs, you can release 1,000 of them for every launch. Cool. But man, monkeys, baseball's not for you. You got 500 balls. Just look. The cam. See all those balls? See all those balls right there? Those are all yours. Those balls right there. There's balls and bones and bones and balls. You don't get my one baseball. That is not what it's for. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You know what we didn't do? We didn't do the magic thing because the cat shut off the computer because you chased the cat. So we didn't get to do that. So we might as well do this now, huh? Huh? Little 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. Okay. Got one of these. Gotta come get it. Gotta come get it. Gotta come. There he is. Oh yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Twirly do. Twirly do. Twirly do. Got twirly do. No. No. Hey, come here. Twirly do. There you go. What a good dog. Okay. All right. Caught me right in the chin with her claws. What were we talking about? I can't remember what's happening. We're talking about SpaceX, then all of a sudden the dog. Oh, because I picked up a baseball. There, that's right. That's it. All done. No more. That's it. That's all you get. You're done. Okay. Oh shoot! I lost my spot. Is that okay. Last way to talk about Bed Bath & Beyond ready to get hurt again. Come back for more. Yeah. If I show any promising green whatsoever with those Bed Bath & Beyond calls, I am done, son. Sell them. Even if I miss out on another like 50 grand, I need a little win at the moment. Just the smallest win. And then put an engine in the war rig finally, right, Monkey? We've waited to do that for a long time, haven't we? Yes, we have. Yeah, we could do that. Oh, hey, guess who's here? Oh, hello, little evil man. Come on. Come on, you can shut if you shut everything off again, I'm going to punch you into the moon. Yes. Come on. Everyone wants to say hi. Not you. The other one. The little delinquent. Okay. Is it true you work for the CIA? Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't I just be the best CIA agent in the entire world? With my inability to speak any language going, ow, it's my thigh. Cat. Yeah. Maybe it's hard to work for CIA when you have to like take pets with you everywhere. Take pets with you everywhere. All right. Cat. Chalupa's U3 halt was the occasion. Javi A. Chalupa turned on the circuit breakers. If GME has negative beta, why does it drop with the market? I know they aren't shorting as the market drops, but isn't that adding more obligations they won't do? I don't think it's had much negative beta recently, but man, there's been too much volatility in GME as of late. Not since really before the announcement for the Splividend. We got one weird vol to pop in August when both AMC and Bed Bath & Beyond were all raging that same week. And then we had like big old gamma. We had a kind of a baby pop a few weeks ago. It took it up to like $27 or something. And then it settled right back down again. But the volatility really hasn't been there. And I do wonder how much it has to do with like people's savings running out. Like our retail just not buying as much as they did before. I mean, it's been pretty steady for the most part. What are you doing down there, dog? That might have a little bit into like why the volatility isn't quite there. Last Wizard, you back because you watched Pick of Destiny? I've not watched Pick of Destiny yet. I'm back because the cat cut the show short, so I figured I'd do another hour. And then maybe I will go watch it. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my night. Who knows, right? Yeah, you little evil cat, you. Okay. Okay, there's the whole everyone telling me I'm no audio. There you go. No audio, no audio, no audio, no audio. He is bad. Back. Okay. Star Wars Oops was made the mistake of turning volume to the max. Barry McCockiner. Oh, you're back, bud. What are the possibility of the 40 million being dividend? Not a possibility at all. Ow, cat, your claws in my leg are just stop digging into my leg. So the 40 million is going to be sold because they need a year or two worth of cash in order to make sure that their drilling obligations happen. Because it might, it's already been a year and a half and we're trying to figure out how to sell this land, right? So it might be some time before they find an adequate buyer at the right price to sell all this land. In the meantime, they got to maintain their drilling requirements for the leases. If you don't drill, you lose the leases. So, and that costs $15-20 million a year to do that. So they're gonna have to sell shares in order to maintain those leases. And that's what we're looking at. Plus they owe McCabe like $15 million for a short-term loan to do the drilling they did this year. And they gotta pay him back. Just in my head, can you explain UVXY? If it's supposed to be inverse SPY, why has it pooped the bed over the past year? Because the SPY really hasn't done the volatility that UVXY requires. Also, UVXY, I think, halves. And so they end up producing more shares, which brings the volume down. And if we got a sudden huge drop in the SPY, UVXY and other inverse ones would like rocket. They might not rocket in the same day. It might be like a day or two later that it starts to affect because it has to do with like puts and calls and all these things. What those inverse funds work on. So there's like a little bit of a delay in how they react. But the fact that the plunge protection team has been keeping the SPY at a steady level. Where are we at right now? Still around 400. Sorry, cat. You're it's 394. Yeah, it's still $140 too high. We got down to like 360 in June, and then went right back to 400 again. It was not really a true correction. It was just sort of like an inconvenience for everyone, but it should have dropped a lot. So unless the SPY drops $100, the UVXY isn't going to do spit, and we're just going to sit here and wait some more. Just twiddling our thumbs. That's going to be the new theme. Maybe it would be a t-shirt. Just some guy twiddling his thumbs, waiting for the slow, inevitable heat death of the universe to happen. Gumo and Houston, we could all see the precise moment when you figure out there was no sound. Monkey Book's very sorry. Well, Monkey Bud is very sorry because while I was gone today, she got into the trash in the office and pulled it all over the office. And so I had to be like you're a bad dog to her. And she went, oh, I'm so sorry. So, yeah. You going to sleep there on the floor? Is that where you're going to be your penance? Yeah? Because I'm petting the cat, not you. You got treats, dude. You should feel really happy. The Paleo Trucker. Houston, what's up with the rumor that about Acme trading on May 11th? It's rumor. Nothing. I don't think anything will happen until the court makes a decision. Because right now FINRA is all locked up. While they're being sued, they're like, can't do a thing. Not at all. And so they're not going to do anything until the court rules one way or the other. And once a ruling happens, even if it's a ruling that's against us, FINRA will then be like, okay, maybe we can do whatever. Unless, of course, there's a appeal and whatnot, which likely would be. We'll find out more. I'm going to see if Rosa wants to come on next week also, after she gets her week's worth of sleeping in. And we'll get some updates from her. And I might see if I can get Alan on here also. I was reading before the show, I was reading a sort of an update on his whole lawsuit. And he's suing not just FINRA, but also his brokers and GTS as well, I believe. He's just like, pay me money. So we'll see how good that is. Casey Gunnis, thanks for your skiing tips the other day. Made it down a blue with some falls, but lived. What's your favorite place to ski and why? I mean, in North America, my favorite place to ski so far has been Whistler. Granted, the snow can be sometimes kind of cascade concrete, but the terrain's pretty awesome. You have just a boatload of vertical feet. I've enjoyed. I've actually never gone skiing in Colorado yet. I've enjoyed Jackson Hole. I've enjoyed Bridger and Big Sky. Park City, Utah. 20 something years ago, I skied Heavenly in Tahoe. But I really, 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 really enjoy skiing in Europe. They know how to do it right. It's not just like the fact that the mountains are huge. They're just gigantic. The ski resorts are just so huge. But they know how to, like, La Vida Dolce, baby. Like, there's huts everywhere. There's little restaurants all over the mountains. There's hot tubs. You can, like, oh, I'm skiing for the day. You know what? It's a nice sunny day. There's a hot tub. Let's pay a couple of bucks and sit in a hot tub for an hour and eat and have some drinks. And then continue our day skiing. It's just, they know, and it's cheap. It is so cheap to go skiing in Europe compared to the U.S. You know, there's mountains in the U.S. where it's $300 a day to go skiing. You can go to the top resorts in Switzerland, one of the most expensive countries in the world, and ski for like $40 a day. And you can go to Greece and ski for $8 a day. It's ridiculous how expensive the U.S. is. And it's so expensive in the U.S. almost entirely because of insurances. Because we don't have universal health care, every ski resort is so terrified of getting sued for injuries that they've got to take on these huge liability insurance platforms. But in Europe, you hurt yourself, well, fuck it. The helicopter picks you up, takes you to the hospital, everything's paid for, you're good to go. But here, you hurt yourself, you're going to sue everybody and their mother, and everyone knows it's our litigious society and our crappy healthcare system makes everything just ridiculously expensive. So it's cheap. So my trip to Whistler, it's going to be 4 days long. Just my hotel room or my condo or whatever is as expensive as me taking a round trip ticket to Switzerland, the train ticket from the airport to Davos, which includes my skiing, costs less than just 3 nights in this condo. It's ridiculous. And then, you know, $120 a day for the lift tickets. It's so stupid. It's cheaper to go skiing in Europe. Cheaper to fly there and go skiing than it is to stay here and go skiing. It's a real bummer. Cat. Dadgummit. Okay. Ross Waves is wearing the same shirt from last show. Yes, that's today's shirt, man. This is part 2 of the same show. So there. So take that. Daphne, I think you need a vacation. I would love a vacation. I would love to just go somewhere. But I got to save up now because I'm probably have to go back to Banff World Media Festival and try to sell the TV show again. That's going to cost a couple of grand. We'll see. Got to start teaching again in a month. Month from what, today? When's the quarter start? The 3rd. Okay, just about a month. Gotta start getting that ready. Got things I gotta do. All right. Alex F. Chaos on Bainbridge, it sounds like. Terry Teague, what do you think about voting rights for ape? I mean, what is there to think about voting rights for ape? I think if I remember correctly, they have 1/100th of the vote until they convert them all to AMC, and then it'll be 1-to-1. So prior to that, they've got their 1/100th. But right, Monkey. Julianne, Citadel has 66 billion in assets, but 65.7 billion in sold, not yet purchased. Sounds about right. But I bet it's more than that, though, because that was their 2021 numbers. We're waiting for the 2022 numbers, which I guess is going to be a lot more than that. And most of Citadel's assets are actually options contracts that they play on both sides. Excuse me, to hedge everything. So, Houston, have you seen the crazy shorting on GNS? They really throw in the kitchen sink before NFT deployment for a short squeeze. And GNS filed a lawsuit today against the hedge funds who are manipulating their it's not the predatory lenders. That's who they're suing. The predatory lenders who were trying to force them into a debt spiral. So they're suing basically for unfair practices. So that if I were a hedge fund and anyone else, that would make me go, oh, wait a minute. Maybe we should take a moment and realize we might be paying more than we're making off of this. Aaron Salentine. Hey, Jason. Wait, that's the same question you just asked. Terry Teague, sounds like Citadel and other hedge funds are planning to crash the market so they can buy those shares. Maybe. Tiny Boxes, bless you. Good to see you, Houston. Good to see you, Tiny Boxes. Julianne, better for you to get a check than that check to be split among your 500 progeny. The goal is to have thousands before I'm done. I seriously do want to make Out Genghising the Khan a TV show. And we'll just have Houstons all over the world. And... just like Genghis Khan. Just let some other person raise them all for me. Mastication drives me nuts. Chewing. Barry McConker. Yeah. I don't like having breakfast with other people. I don't mind like if we go to a restaurant and have breakfast where there's like music and diners and things clinking and clacking. But sitting down in the morning, just woken up, and like listening to the person chew their cereal, just... that one does get me also. Just that I don't mind at dinner time. I don't mind at lunchtime. Just in the morning before I've really had a chance to spool up, I don't want to listen to the person chew their food. It really just... I'd like having breakfast alone. KYP, hey, Houston and Monkey Butts. Notice you didn't get a hello, Chalupa, for shutting off the show, you little ding-dong. Okay. Daphne, sapphires, my birthstone. Where can we find those? Well, you just left Colorado. We can find sapphires. The best place to look for sapphires, and as a pay-for-play mine, is you go to Gem Mountain in Montana. You can dig all sorts of sapphires there. It's like $50 a day, and you just go dig and dig and dig. They teach you how to do it, and you can dig in the gravels. I suggest if you're going to go, you bring a gold sluice, and you can also get gold out of those same gravels. So you can get gold and sapphires. And the sapphires range from like Yogo Gulch Blue, which is the color of Princess Diana's ring, was a Yogo Gulch sapphire, all the way to like purples, pinks, greens, yellows, all sorts of different colors. And some of them are pretty big. A friend of mine went to Gem Mountain with some buddies. They came back with just a boatload of sapphires, and he got just a monster. I'm like 15 karat, deep blue. I hooked him up with a cutter, and they cut that stone. I wouldn't doubt that stone's a $250,000 stone. It is so gorgeous, so pure, and I think his wife wears it now. But it's like buying a house type stone, and those appear. Oat Milk Man just picked up a bunch of Montana sapphires. They're uncut, not treated, but they look pretty. Yeah, and it doesn't devalue them to treat them, and by treating them, I mean heat treated. If you do lead glass filling, then they're worthless. But if you can find a pressure cooker oven, like one that can get it up to like 700 degrees Fahrenheit, you can bake those suckers and get them real crystal clear. And it does not affect doesn't make their negative value negative. It makes them worth more than they would be. Unless you already have one that's super clear and uncooked, then don't bother. But it really makes the colors robust. It fills in a lot of inclusions, makes them really clear. So find out if there's any ovens around that you can use to do that. Armando Antunes. Houston, happy birthday. What's your thoughts on AMC earnings and the recent price action going on? I think it was a pumping that happened up until yesterday afternoon. And no matter what the earnings were going to be, they were going to dump. And the earnings showed that revenue's up, but costs are causing a lot more losses. And they're losing, what, $277 million a quarter? And I think most of that is interest on their debt. So getting rid of their debt is a good thing. They need to get rid of their debt so they're not paying interest on this crap anymore. And that everything becomes profit after that. Otherwise, they're going to be stuck in a debt spiral forever. So, but I think the price action was, let's pump this thing right before earnings. Get everyone all stoked. We got up to $8 and was it 84 cents or whatever they got to? 50 cents. And then the minute the earnings come out, no matter what the earnings are, we're going to after hours dump it and crash the price. Which is why I should have bought a whole bunch of puts, because it would have paid out. Should have done it. Didn't. I thought about it and I was like, I don't know. But yeah. Donkey eat that dog. That's what happened. Babe was his name. He was a little monster. He was terrible. He was just a shitty little dog. I mean, most dogs are awesome. Babe was not. He had all sorts of skin conditions, like allergic to everything. So he was always like itchy and like chewing on himself. And he had stomach problems. So he'd be like all the time. He'd like barf and then he would lick himself. So the dog went from this like white dog to this like gray barf smelling dog. And so the only spot you could like pet him was like the very top of his head, because like, he couldn't lick that. So that's the only spot I'd pet him. And then I'd give him a bath. He'd become this beautiful white Shih Tzu, and I could scratch him for like an afternoon, and then he would barf again and lick himself and turn gray and just smell terrible. Monkey Butt got to meet Babe for all of like a week, and then Babe passed away. But you know, he got to meet Babe, even though he was like, I'm dying, I'm 20 years old. Yeah. Oh, is that what we got? Is that what we got? Come here. Is that what we got? She found her ball. Ready? Woo! Yeah, she's just staring at me with a half out of her mouth. Monkey Butt, where'd you? Oh, yep. Okay. All right. Well, chewing on the floor. Chew that ball on the floor. Sincere. Real delusion, only squeeze plays. Early retirement keeps you buying. I know. It's that hope for the early retirement, man. All right, where are we? Oh, and quit resetting. Jeez, my knees. Igualamon, Washima, the same place that the all-you-can-eat deal? No, that was the sushi place in Hilo. There was Ocean Sushi and Tsunami Grill across the street. Tsunami Grill is like the Japanese tempura grill place, and then Ocean Sushi was sushi place. Same owners, and you can order from both places. So if you're at the sushi place, you'd be like, you know what? I would like some tempura fried crab legs. And you'd see some person like dodging traffic, running across the road to bring you tempura crab legs. And if you're over at Tsunami Grill, it'd be like, oh, I love these tempura crab legs, but also would like a California roll. And some person would be like bringing a roll across the street. But Tsunami Grill, when I was in college, did a $14.99 all you can eat. And I'm pretty sure my roommates and I forced them to stop doing that. Because oh, more crab legs, please? Oh, no. More crab legs? Oh, no. More crab legs, please. I'll have some more crab legs. And they're like, get out. Well, excuse me. It's all you can eat. And I can definitely eat more crab legs right now. And so after about a year of us going every Tuesday for all you can eat at Tsunami Grill, They're like, no, we're not doing it anymore. You guys are losing us so much money. But it was fun while it lasted. Kind of like there's a bar called Cronies in Hilo. Might still be there. And Cronies had Thirsty Thursdays. And for $5, you'd enter. And then they had dollar pitcher, dollar well drinks. And the place was a mess. And then one of the gnarliest fights I ever saw in my entire life happened. And this is my first year in Hilo. And the room was packed. We're talking like you cannot move type packed. And the baseball team is having their last home game of the season. Home series. And so all these parents had flown out and they had this giant table in the bar. And the parents and the baseball players are all there. And the shortstop for the team at Hilo was the brother of the shortstop I played with at Lewis and Clark. So I knew the family. And this methed out crazy girl just straight up like punched this kid's mom in the face. And of course, you know, like if someone punches my mom, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And the same thing, he's like, what the hell? Why did you just punch my mom's? Mom's like, oh my God. And this giant friggin' Vin Diesel looking dude, shaved head, just like, brah, gets in this kid's face. And, you know, shortstops are not the biggest dudes in the world. Gets in the kid's face like, she didn't punch your mom. I punched your mom. What are you going to do about it? And being an idiot, he tried to punch this guy in the face and the guy's head didn't even move. He was like, brah. And just one punch the shortstop. He was on the ground, starts like kicking the shit out of him, kicking him while he's down, teeth flying everywhere, blood spraying the ceilings, like just gnarly. And the bouncers are halfway across the room. We're screaming for them to come over there. It's like too crowded. We can't get through to stop, get this guy off of him. And finally, the bouncers were a married couple. I can't remember the wife's name. Bull was named Bull because he was like 15 pounds when he was born. And his neck is like this big around. Just a giant Hawaiian guy. And his wife is equally as large. And she was the other bouncer. His wife gets to this dude first. Grabs him. Throws the Vin Diesel dude through the picture window at the front of the restaurant. His head is like bleeding. He rears back. Kicks the lady in her leg. And her knee just goes pink. And she collapses on the ground. And then the guy jumps out the broken window, sprints down the street, and Bull tries to go after him, but can't get there in time. Ambulances come, completely unresponsive. The shortstop's completely unresponsive. He turns out he had to like relearn to walk and talk, and all his baseball career and college career was done. And the cops come, and Bull, you know, Hawaiian cops, and they're like, "What do you want us to do, Bull?" And he's like, "You find him, you give me 10 minutes with him, then you arrest him." And they're like, "No problem, bro." And his wife has to get carted off an ambulance. Her complete knees all hyperextended. And cops apparently caught the dude, gave Bull 10 minutes with him. Wife got surgery on her leg, and they never did a Thirsty Thursday again. So that was Thirsty Thursdays. SS Minnow Johnson will take $400. Things didn't happen, Alex. SS Minnow Johnson, go try and live in Hilo. I would bet, just from you know the attitude you have on here, that if you tried to move to Hilo, you'll get your ass kicked in the first 2 weeks. That'd be my best. That'd be my bet. You'll go to the wrong place. Someone will beat the shit out of you. And then you'll know what it's like to live in Hawaii, man. Like, yeah. The natives all do cage fighting, and none of them can hold their liquor. And so get a couple drinks in them, and they are just brutalizing each other. It is absolutely crazy. Cronies was the hangout for my landlord's kid, BJ Penn, world champion cage fighter. All those, he had the kung fu dojo, or jiu-jitsu dojo 2 blocks away. I was one of the few white dudes that he would be like, "Sup?" because we rented from his parents. The rest of them, he'd be like, "Don't fucking look at me." And they're like, "Oh." He's the type of dude that was like, "You're my girlfriend now." And the boyfriend would be like, his girlfriend's like, "You can't say it to me. My boyfriend's." And the boyfriend's like, "She's yours, bro." They're different rules in Hawaii there, SS Minnow Johnson. Different rules indeed. I mean, a whole bunch of Canada stopped sending students to Hilo because they had this exchange program where they would send a whole bunch of Canadian students for like a semester and put them up in the dorms and whatever. And this group of Canadian kids are like walking back to campus one night. Van pulls over the side of the road. A bunch of locals get out and start trying to murder them, like choking them with coat hangers, trying to murder all these college kids. And luckily, a police officer happened to drive by at the very moment that all these kids jumped out of the van and saved the lives of like 14 Canadians. But then the Canadian embassy was like, no more Canadians are allowed to go to Hawaii they're from like Regina or something. I'm one of the few white dudes that didn't get his ass kicked while in Hilo. And it came close a couple of times. I had a biker gang chase me down once because dude tried to punch me in the back of the head while driving by and then got slowed down at a stoplight, and I threw a rock and hit his girlfriend in his back. And then I was like, oh, I should have done that. And man, yeah. I mean, I had a dude in my house come home, jaw wired shut, because he like went and asked some guys, oh, can I smoke some weed with you? And they just beat the shit out of him. It's you don't live in Hawaii, you survive there. Especially if you are in a place where it's 25% unemployment. It's a lot of meth. That's Hilo. We got my Mystery Michael, and he's on the other side of the island. Kona, it's a little bit posher, but I'm sure there's lots of stories like that, man. Okay. Now I got on that tangent. Ron Johnson, do you have any insight into hedgy thinking when it came to MMTLP, a ticker that had zero value and isn't the point of shorting a stock to get it to zero? It started at zero. But they already had a bunch of liability from when it was a regular stock. So they had already borrowed at a certain price, right? And then they owed that back. And so their best bet was to just drive it into nothing. Let's hope they never do their drilling. They can't get any lending. We can drive it to zero and we don't owe anybody anything. I think that's the goal there, Ron. $10 is still going strong. Love to have you back again. Want to come on the stream? Love that you came on the stream for us back then. I'd love to. Yeah. Send me a thing. My old Twitter account, or my middle Twitter account. Anyway, I'm back to my original Twitter account. That got given back to me. But the one you had for me before doesn't work anymore. So send me a DM at the Houston Wade, and we'll come on. Odin Zhu, good morning, Franz Vier. All right. It's early. It's really early for you there, Odin. There goes the reset of the chat. Quit resetting. I would love to be able to stay in one spot. Okay. People still holding LMNOP. Don't just hate him, just woke up. Now I'm going back to bed. Well, you're here. Paul V just getting here. MMTLP Rosa update. No updates. Rosa did her bar exam. It's 2 days. Did her bar exam over 2 days. And it sounded harrowing. I was texting with her earlier, and it sounds like she's like scarred from the Texas bar exam. So she's working this week. She's heading to her sister's the weekend, and it's like sleeping for 3 days, and then she'll be recharged, renewed, and hope to have her on next week if I can. So we'll see. No, nothing's come out of court yet, so we got no updates there. Rendered radical. This financial harassment and terrorism is going to bitter and radicalize way too many people. I can't wait for those DBs to pay douchebags to pay for their sins. It's probably coming. Jim Mountain is on my bucket list, says Daphne. Yeah, go. It's great. I mean, if you aren't gonna make it your hobby, it's good to go to a place like Gem Mountain. You can they'll have sluice boxes and stuff for probably borrow shovels and things. So you may not even might even have to bring your own stuff. But if you go to places if you go opal hunting You go to Virgin Valley, Nevada, and go opal hunting, it is way out in the middle of nowhere. So I don't know why I'd be going through there. But you know, bring some hand shovels of your own, a bucket to put stuff in, and a spray bottle. Because it's nice to spray away the clay and see just what the shininess of the opal is going to be. Just those 4 things, like a couple hand trowels, and you know, the guy will show you like, oh, this clay layer here, go dig there, and you'll find opals. Hey, cat, what's up? What's happening? There's a cat butthole for everybody. Look at that thing. Yep, just showing everybody your bits, huh? Let's just cover that up, shall we? There we go. Whoop, it's back. Ah, cats. Oh, now you're back again? Did you not want... What? Did you want this? Is this what you like? Is this what you like up there? There. You can have that if you want. That work for you? You're just being picky. J. King, hello Houston, and good morning to all. Great who participated in another late night Houston and Company. Always leave that out for you, New York City. Thank you for all you do. Well, thank you, J. King. We'll go for a little bit longer. I was only gonna do like an hour, but you know, because I did an hour earlier today. But I got some stamina in me. We'll go for another 15 minutes or so. Bird Bear, dollar drinks and fights seem to go hand in hand. Yeah. So it's not there anymore, but there was like a dance club called Uncle Mikey's, and it was in this like abandoned hotel that failed, and then they sold off all the hotel rooms as like little condos and stuff, and then people rented out the condos, and mostly college students lived there. And Uncle Mikey's was just a dreary, moldy place. I didn't know, but I had a car at the time. My first year in Hawaii, and all these girls were like, hey, let's go dance at Uncle Mikey's. And me not knowing any better, I'm like, totally. We'll go to Uncle Mikey's. Get in the car. Driving down there. We pull in the parking lot. And in the parking lot, there is a brawl going on between these like 2 Godzilla-sized men just wailing on each other. And the crowd's like, woo, chanting. And then I see a guy who could be me, this tall, skinny white dude, like trying to work his way through the crowd. And these 2 dudes are just beating the shit out of each other. Like, stop beating on each other and see this guy. And they just grab him by the lapel and start beating the shit out of him together. And I was like, well, let's put that sucker in reverse and we're going to get the hell out of here. And I did not go to Uncle Mikey's. My roommate's girlfriend was a dance major, and she had all these pretty dance majors around all the time. It was wonderful. And it wasn't even they're trying to convince me to like take them all to Uncle Mikey's. And like, what the heck am I going to, like, what am I going to do? You're going to Uncle Mikey's. Everyone's going to get sexually assaulted. They're going to kill me and then probably sexually assault me after that. So you guys might as well go yourself because there's nothing I'm going to be able to do about that. And they're like, yeah, it was rough. J. King, Houston, also thanks to all your moderators who keep the wheels on the road. Well, thank you. And, you know, I do have such weird times, and sometimes they are poor people. I keep them up all night long. Smith & Wesson don't care about size. Yeah, you don't have those in Hawaii, though. That's the thing, is that gun laws in Hawaii are really strict. And you're not going to be able to whip out that equalizer in Hawaii. They will break you in half. Those Hawaiian, you can shoot that Hawaiian dude 10 times and he'll still murder you before he gets winded. They do not. There's a reason why they all go to the NFL. They all go to cage fighting. Polynesians are no joke. No joke at all. I would not, do not mess with a Polynesian at all. Even the little guys from like Micronesia, they're still terrifying. When they get angry, they're like 4 feet tall, and you're like, dude, calm down. Daphne, to phone less touchy and sensitive. I hate this model phone. Are you accidentally deleting your own messages there? There, Daphne. Yeah, Regina is a funny name, isn't it? Regina, Saskatchewan. Where are you from? I'm from Regina. Brian Carson, Hawaii definitely has a heavy fist fight culture. Yeah, man. It's a real thing. So tell my family stories about the fights and stuff I'd see in Hawaii and just the brutality of it. And they're like, you're just making crap up. You're not wherever. They finally come out for my graduation, right? Just all my siblings and nieces and nephews and whatnot are all out there. Parents. The first day, mom's condo's broken into, dad's car's broken into. We watch a man almost get beaten to death with a baseball bat at the beach, and my little sister is molested. All in like 12 hours. My brother, Gardner, the one that's at MMAT, he spent like my entire graduation picking people out of lineups because he happened to be like the witness for all of the things. Yeah, it was him. Yeah, that was the guy. It was just, he calls it Crime Island. He's like, I'm never going back to Hawaii. Like, well, once you get used to it, it's just kind of normal. He's like, I don't want to get used to it. Then again, the whole reason we went to Turtle Beach, where half those things happen, I told him not to go to Turtle Beach, so we should go to another beach. And he's like, no, I want to go here. And so I told him we should have gone to Hapuna, but he didn't listen. He convinced everybody to go to Turtle Beach. Michael Mystery, I love your Hawaii story. See, there you go. Michael Mystery knows exactly what I'm talking about. There's a guy, Gappa, who was in my geology program. He's from Texas. And Gappa had a bit of a drinking problem. Kind of would drink and then become a monster. And we didn't like hanging out with Gappa because Gappa was always drinking. And I would work up on Mauna Kea with the volunteers. And one of the guys who was volunteering was an engineer he's from Canada also, from UVic, University of Victoria. And he'd volunteer with me on Thursdays. And I met him like, welcome. He's like, I just moved here this week. Figure I'd do this whole volunteer thing. And get to know him. And I'm like, who's your roommate? Oh, this guy Gappa. I was like, big trouble. He's like, well, I haven't seen him in like a week. So hasn't been trouble at all. Like I met him and I haven't seen him since. And so Gappa went missing for 2 weeks. And when the guy got home, Gappa was like covered in bandages head to toe, like watching TV. And he's like, well, hi, Gappa. Where the hell have you been? He's like, jail. Why? I don't know. They tell me that I stabbed a guy, then tried to fight some police officers, and they beat the shit out of me. I don't remember. Anyway, Gappa graduated, killed a guy, went to prison. Yeah, that's right, Monkey. Monkey's from Hawaii. She knows. My first year in Hawaii, I was renting from this Hare Krishna commune. The Butler group, the ones that Tulsi Gabbard's a cult member of. They are culty, creepy, culty people. But they're the only ones willing to rent a room to me, so I was living there with my buddy Dave. And so I went home for Christmas, came back after 3 weeks of vacation, and there's like a whole new group of hippies wandering all over the place. I have no idea who these people are. One of them I called Head Wound Hippie because he had like that little tuft in the back that the Hare Krishnas have, but he had this like ear-to-ear scar over his head. I think his actual name was like Krishna Des or something. And then there was like these other weird hippies that were showing up, and these like the hippies who had been there, they're like, dude, that guy is really weird. His name's Calvin. Stay the hell away from him. And I was like, okay, you hippies are the weirdest people I've ever met in my life. And if that guy gives you the creeps, then he must be terrible. So I'll stay away from him. And he was like sleeping in our kitchen or something. It was awful. Anyway, I come out of the shower. I've got a towel around my waist, and there's two detectives, police officer detectives. And I don't know if it's still this way, but in 2003, they still dressed like it was 1985. And they have like hammer pants on, fanny packs, Hawaiian shirt, and like their badges are on necklaces, like they're badged right there. And I was like, whoa, hey, fellas, what's going on? Like, we're looking for Kaya, who was one of the ladies that rented there. And I was like, I think she's at school right now. Oh, you have any information about the fire? I was like, the fire? Well, I heard that someone burned down one of the trees on their farm because he was like smoking drugs or whatever. Like, no, not that fire. The fire that murdered Dijon. And all these people had hippie names. And I was like, Dijon's dead? I'm like, yes. Last night, we believe a young man named Calvin tied him to his bed and burned his house down. And we're like, oh shit, the guy that's like sleeping in our kitchen? He's like, yes, that man's been sleeping in your kitchen. So Dijon was a hippie. He was like a trust fund hippie. And he would show up on Sundays when they do like their Hare Krishna drum circles where they say Hare Krishna over and over again for like hours on end. And they'd have a bunch of vegan pizza. And then Dijon would drive back into the jungle to his little compound he had. And Dijon, the rumor was Dijon liked to like pick up hitchhikers, no matter male or female, and then try to seduce them. That was like what got him off. And so he picked up Calvin. And Calvin played along. He's like, oh yeah, I'm totally into this. And like Dijon's like, well, let's go back to my house. And Calvin's like, yeah, let's go back to your house. And they get back to the house, and Calvin's like, hey, I'm into tying people up. And Dijon's like, oh, tie me up. And he tied him up, robbed him everything, stole his car, and burned his house down and killed the guy. And no one's seen him since. You can look for him. This would have been probably January 2004. No one's found the guy. They call him Punatics, the crazy hippies from Puna. He just disappeared into the jungle. It's been 20 years. No one knows where Calvin is. No one's seen him. Just absolutely nuts. It's oh, dude, SS Mino Johnson. At that hippie house, there was Krishna Das, Cosmos, Gopal, Murley, Desk. Oh crap, can't remember all their names. Jamuna. Crap. Homeboy was one of them. Homeboy, and so if you're a Hare Krishna, you're not supposed to date. Not supposed to have any relations whatsoever. And like my Hare Krishna commune that I was renting from, were like the bad Hare Krishnas, like the ones that like still did drugs and ate meat and crap and had relations. They were like punished and sent to my hippie commune. And Homeboy, I called him Hippie of Death before I knew his name because his skin was like really see-through. And he's like so gaunt and skinny, he looked like he was dying. He was having a secret relation with this chick I called Sad Hippie. Because whenever I came home from school, Sad Hippie would be sitting on the steps of my house crying. And whenever she got up and ran away, there'd be like a little pile of dirt where her feet were. And we had to like get a lock for our part of the house because Sad Hippie would go and blow up our toilet all the time and then never flush. It was brutal. But anyway, Sad Hippie and Hippie of Death were having a secret affair, but they weren't supposed to talk about it. But then Hippie of Death like cheated on Sad Hippie with another hippie, but she'd see we're supposed to have a relationship anyway. Like she had to like internalize this grief, and it was just drama all the time. Oh man. That I could write novels on the hippie place. When Desk got his head caved in, that was another one. So there was this hippie Josh, and Josh did not live with us. Josh was like a subcontractor hippie. He did some work for Sean Carr, the head of the commune, and he would get contract work, whatever. But Josh had been like an abuse boy in a heavy metal band for a long time. So the dude was like used to having like his penis nailed to a stage and lit on fire and whatever else. And but he's like a good dude. He's like, you're nice to him, he's nice to you. It's cool. And so Desk was the maintenance hippie, and he lived in a tent in our front yard. And, he did odd jobs around the house, got to live in the tent, fix things here and there, whatever. And Josh was building a new house out in the jungle. So he's like, hey, Desk, I will hire you to help me build this house. And Desk was like, rad, I could use work. So Desk leaves for a couple months. And he goes off into the jungle, and he helps Josh build this house. And he comes back one day, and he's back living in the tent in the front yard. And he gets a job. He gets a contract from BJ Penn to build BJ Penn one of those, those kung fu block logs with the little arms that stick out that you always see like Jackie Chan whacking. He's building one of those in the garage of the house. And he had like throwing stars and nunchucks and stuff all over the place because he's building this thing for BJ Penn. And it's Sunday morning, and I wake up to the sound that is, what the fuck? And I look out the window, and there's Josh taking Desk, putting his head into the door of a car and just smashing the door on Desk's head probably a dozen times. And then Desk just lays there, and then Josh is like, call an ambulance. So apparently, out in the jungle, Desk didn't have access to his meds, and so he went crazy. And Josh is like, whoa, time for you to leave there, weird guy in a tent. I can't put up with your craziness anymore. So Desk gets back to town, gets his meds again, but he harbors some ill will towards Josh. So when he saw Josh, he ran from the garage, waving the nunchucks over his head, and then cracked him in the skull. And then Josh proceeded to cave his head in with a door. And that was a Sunday morning. Desk also got the crap beat out of him by some weird methed out lady who attacked him under our sink once. That was also pretty weird. I'll just save that story for another day. But man, like the number of ass kickings I saw on a weekly basis in Hawaii was just, I've never seen anything like it since. I got back from my first year of Hawaii and like not a single person in Seattle fazed me. I was not scared of anyone. I was like, pussy, you're all pussies. Everyone in Seattle is a wuss. Like, unless you're like a drunk Samoan, you're really not going to faze me out here. There's nothing you can do to me that I haven't witnessed worse of elsewhere. Yeah. There's a reason why Hilo had like 11% freshman retention rate. Everyone would get there and they're like, oh, I'm out. Only people that stayed were the non-traditionals that transferred in from elsewhere. It was like, I'm going to do this specific degree. And I was the only ones who stayed for graduation. Okay. Well, everyone's like at their desk right now. Daphne, I can't ban myself. Just checked. Abraham Barker. What it do, H-Dub? How many satellites does Elon have in space currently? Plan for the future. I think he's got a couple hundred right now, but the plan is for like tens of thousands. Let's see here. How many Starlink satellites are there? They got 3,500 of them up there. They got they mass-produced small ones. Okay, let's communicate designated ground transceivers. In total, nearly 12,000 are planned to be deployed, with a possible extension to 42,000. So they got 3,000 up there now, which are some of the small guys, and then they got these giant relay ones, I think, which are the really big ones up there. Maybe that's what they're doing. So they got thousands up there. But they're not alone. Jeff Bezos is planning on launching a bunch. SoftBank is launching like 20,000 for their own network. So there's going to be a lot of competition soon for these ground-based satellite communications. There's going to be 100,000 maybe satellites in total when those three networks go up. And who knows if others are going to do them. I just wonder like how crowded is space going to be if we start having like hundreds of thousands of satellites up there. And all it takes is the destruction of a couple of them to cause a Kessler event, and then we can never leave the surface of Earth again. Just gonna be crazy, man. Okay. Bird Bear, do they really use much spam as I imagine they do? Yes. Spam is a delicacy. It's a delicacy because of everyone was rationed during World War II, and they managed to like mix all the cultural delicacies together with spam, and they've got all sorts of like Japanese type food made with spam, Chinese food made with spam, local mocos made with spam. Spam is a delicacy. 223E, how often do you communicate with your brother? I don't know. We might text like once a week or so. I haven't heard from him. When was the last time we messaged? Let's see. Scroll. No, February 16th. I was letting him know that the San Diego tax delinquent properties auction is going up, which, by the way, is when? That is going to be... Oh, crap. Deposit has to be in by 5 p.m. tomorrow for the San Diego County tax foreclosure auction. So if you're looking to get a house in San Diego for cheap, that would be the thing to do. And then, well, how much is the deposit? Probably $5,000. It's usually like 5 or 10,000. That does not say. How many? Auction calendar, auction upcoming. Let's see here. Come on, tell me. The auction is going to be on the 13th. So yeah, so I last messaged him a couple weeks ago talking about that. Snowboard, Kessler event, Houston, please ramble me a bedtime story about space. A Kessler event is a theoretical event where enough objects get destroyed in low Earth orbit that sends out debris in all sorts of directions going 20,000 miles an hour or so and starts shredding every other thing that's in orbit, which causes this chain reaction where, you destroy one object, makes 1,000 pieces. That object destroys 10 objects, makes 10,000 pieces. Those 10 objects destroy 100 objects, makes for hundreds of thousands of pieces. And before long, everything in low Earth orbit has been absolutely destroyed. And you've got nuts and bolts and pieces of glass and everything else that's now flying around everywhere, shredding everything that goes into space. So if you try to launch anything to space, you're just going to get blown apart and to contribute more to the debris and detritus that's up there. And depending on where in low Earth orbit those objects end up, they could be up there for thousands of years. And essentially rendering us back to World War II technology. We will lose our weather satellites. We will lose our communication satellites. We'll lose our television satellites. So even like trying to watch the Olympics live, right, halfway around the world would not work because our uplink satellites would have been destroyed. And we had to put wires everywhere. We had to put cables across all the oceans again, even more so than we have now. And Kessler events are gnarly, man. Absolutely gnarly. So China keeps sending up rockets and destroying satellites, and everyone, the entire world's like, stop it, you fucking idiots. Stop blowing up satellites in space, because if you cause a Kessler event, that's it. We have no more access to space. And considering the fact that we're trying to get like our resources from space now instead of the Earth, it will really put a damper on our ability to like stop poisoning planet Earth if we can't get to the moon to get our new energy sources, because we'll just die we try to launch through the mess that would be up there. So it's a very real possibility that with the thousands of satellites that are being launched every month now, that a Kessler event can happen. Monkey, if you'd make that cat jump up there again, I'm going to get so mad at you. Don't chase the cat. Be nice. Yeah. Ba-bum. This is Mount Johnson. Mossberg 590A1 would have helped your family, but sure, no Second Amendment there. I mean, can you imagine a bunch of drunk Hawaiians with guns? It'd be even worse in Hawaii. That's, if you have one, they have one too. And again, you could probably film an entire magazine and they would still chase you down and beat the shit out of you before they went, oh, maybe I should go see a doctor. Are there bears in Nevada where we go opal hunting? Not in the desert. There's cougars. There's pumas out there. But no bears. Lots of feral donkeys, wild horses. Every once in a while you get, some coyotes and then pumas. Daphne, do you know a good place in Spain? I don't. That would take some Googling for me to figure out where in Spain. I know there's like the largest mercury mines in the world are in Spain. So there are minerals there. Well, then there were lots of gold mines. And a couple shows ago, we highlighted a gold mine that was in southern Portugal, right next to the Spanish border. So there's gold to be found. We know that. Lamone, I wouldn't be opposed to the cops dressing like extras from Miami Vice. Yeah, we're talking like jerry curls. It was crazy. I thought these dudes stepped out of like a time machine. Absolute craziest uniform I've ever seen them wear. And in Hawaii County, they all drive personal cars. So they get like $700 a month allowance for a car, and they all drive around like Corvettes and Camaros and stuff. And those are their cars. Mustangs, BMWs, and they just put a little blue light on top, and then all the maintenance is paid for by the police department. It looks really, really fake. All these names, and then Josh. Yeah, Josh the hippie. Josh the abuse hippie. There was Johnny too. Johnny the nice British hippie. He was our interior decorator hippie. So the house that was the one where I rented my room had been like remodeled by the hippies. Complete basement remodel, like low end remodel, just like linoleum floors, painted the walls, kicked out some of the rats. And Johnny was this really, really nice kind of a fat British guy. And he's really into like massage and in colonics and like doing like nice, pleasant things. And he was hired by Shankar, the ultimate business hippie, to like do the interior decorating for us. So he would like go to Ross and find some like comforters for the beds and things for the like, throw pillows for the couch in the living room and stuff. He was a really nice guy, but he's always constantly trying to convince me to do colonics. I was like, Johnny, I'm not doing any colonics, buddy. He's like, no. Like, you could really benefit from it. I'll do it for you. I'm like, I know you would, but I'm not doing any colonics. Oh, okay. Michael Walker, how much would it cost to buy next bridge? If you're going to try and buy the leases from them, I bet on the low side, $5 billion. Somewhere around there. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Snowboard. It's like that cluster from the recent space movie, Gravity. The one that had Sandra Bullock in it. That's the name. I knew it was going to come up eventually. Yeah, so that was an example of a Kessler event. Now, they sort of like played with the distances for some objects up there from to like get to. Because I mean, you're talking space is large. But yeah, that was basically a Kessler event, and the destruction that happened from those objects passing through all the space shuttles and the International Space Station and everything, that's very real and exactly how it would be. We're talking, something that would be just the size of a little nut flying 22,000 miles an hour would blast a hole in your head the size of a grapefruit. It's just, the impacts are unreal that can happen from objects like that. A grain of sand could probably kill you unprotected. Just imagine a grain of sand flying 22,000 miles an hour. It will just wipe you out. Snowboard 1201. Would there be a timeline on which all those debris would settle, burn up? I mean, a lot of it would explode down, right? So it would head down and burn up. A lot of it would explode up. So it would go into higher orbits. My guess is if there's a Kessler event, at least hundreds of years, if not thousands of years, for that debris to clear out and burn up in the atmosphere. There's a lot of objects that are in low Earth orbit that are in decay rates, like Explorer 1, the United States' first thing we put into space. It's set to decay in about 5,000 years. So there's a lot of objects up there that aren't going to decay for a long time. And most of the decaying orbits happen from hitting small particles in space. They're flying along, they hit with little atoms and stuff like that, and eventually they slow down more and they drop in orbit. And after enough hundreds of thousands of years, they drop in that orbit and then get trapped in the atmosphere and then spiral in and burn up. Dossier, bro, what's the expiration date on the spam behind you? That spam's from 1995? There's no date specifically. It's got like a printed code, but I don't know if there's a date on here. Cat, if you turn off that fucking computer, my God, man, don't you do it again. Hey, Cat, get down here. Yeah, there's no date. I received it for my 14th birthday, almost 20-something years ago, or 30-something years ago. 28 years ago this year, Cat? Yeah? You turn on the computer again, I'm gonna just wring you out like a sponge. Paul V, do you think AMC will have a pop before reverse split? They just did. I wouldn't doubt they have another one. It's probably best for everybody if they have another one, because a lot of folks can finally get back too close to what their original price was. Otang Clan. How did the May 11th date for trading for MMTLP come about? I don't know. Some space call, and someone was mentioning it, and then rumors spread on space calls like nobody's business. So Monkey wants to eat the spam real bad. Monkey would love to eat that spam, wouldn't you? If the apocalypse happens, I'll let you eat it. How about that? Yeah. It'd be you and the spam, and that'd be the last thing left in the universe. All right. Open the spam. Give Monkey about half. No, I'm not opening 28-year-old spam just for any old reason. It was a birthday gift, and we'll live back there for as long as I live. I'll wait till it's an 80-year-old spam. I don't care. All right. Okay, everybody. That's it for me on Wednesday. Let's give epic farts. They would, wouldn't they? You got yourselves a whole bunch of Hawaii stories. There's a lot more where that came from. So many fights. Oh my gosh. It was just ridiculous there. Anyway, I'll save some more fights for you later. More Hawaii stories. It was a ridiculous place to live. Absolutely silly. All right. Cat, you good? Dog, you good? We're good here. Everybody, I'll see you on Friday. I hope to have Ron Erickson on perhaps sometime in the next week. I'm waiting to hear back from him as to a day that he could do it. We'll talk KnowLabs and short attacks and everything else. And also going to try and get Rosa on next week as well. So, yeah. New YouTube playlist, Hawaii fights. Oh, brother. There are some crazy ones. I had a Mahu chase me once. Oh, goodness. Anyway. Yeah. So, here you go. Have a good one. Bing! Shot grabbing something from the show, and I'm here. I'm stuck with nothing at all. Nothing to show anyone at the end of the show.